start to react. I'm not feeling so well, so react this week. If I'm feeling better in the next days, I'm still going to make a Hoi video. As you may or may not have seen it, I made a short about the trailer they released. It didn't show a lot. I know they released some dev diaries, but who wants to read? I'm a Hoi player. Something about it looks weird. Is this the new loading screen and is the art style different? Maybe I'm just high on drugs.
Leaders like Nehru, Gandhi and Jinnah faced British resistance while poverty persisted. In World War II, India contributed 2.5 million volunteer soldiers, but faced controversy as local leaders were ignored or imprisoned. Some, like Subhas Chandra Bose, sided with the Axis, aiding Japan's invasion of Burma and India before being halted at Imphal.
If you speak about rebellion, I always think it's kind of a shame that most of the systems only belong to one of the nations. If the Raj has like a rebellion mechanic, the British don't have a real answer to it in form of focus. I hope that Britain gets some form of content to counter Raj independence movements or independence movements in all of the empire in general. And hopefully that this content is a little bit more than just some decision they unlock when the Raj does a certain focus or whatever. Maybe in preparation for like the Commonwealth that you like try to appease them more instead of suppress them. They released Burma. Yeah, they own Burma.
The princely states were historically local leaders of India that were a quasi-independent entity separated from direct British rule, but still under British control as a form of subsidiary alliance. As long as they supported the crown, they could rule over their states. In the game, this is represented as high-compliance, non-core land.
That's an interesting idea. I would like it more if the princely states would actually be puppets, like special puppets. Mainly because I think states with high compliance don't really work like independent rulers. They don't have their own armies, they don't have their own focuses, they can't really rebel. If they are going with, hey, britishraj has no less course because of some independent princes, then it would make more sense to actually make them independent.
With ways to core it introduced later. Initially we considered making them puppets, but this led to complications with subjects having their own subjects, which didn't feel like it fit well into the main system.
I would like him to go into more detail here. Adding potato here, I quickly looked into the dev diaries and they mentioned a little bit more here. This isn't a satisfying answer. Puppets would have been more fun, more realistic as independent rulers. What exactly happened? Also, I really love this sentence and I don't think that everyone would like to be forced into having puppets as part of the main branch. The British Empire is also forced to have puppets? What are you talking about?
The independence branch follows history, centering on building a movement to break free from British rule. While British control hinders growth, gaining independence unlocks India's industrial potential.
So I understand it correctly that the historical path is the independence path. Because if I'm not mistaken, historically they got independence after the Second World War. And that the weakening of the British control was in huge parts the reason why they could so easily get their independence. I hope they added a condition or something similar that the British need to be at war before you can just easily get independence. But I'm pretty sure we didn't even have a class about British colonialism. So no clue if I'm talking shit right now.
Unlike the old tree, where the increased autonomy focus led to freedom, this version focuses on strategy, deciding how to expand the movement and what industry to develop.
That was a weird statement. In this strategy game, this focus wasn't really strategic. This focus is now way more strategic for some reason.
Since most players tend to prefer full control, the system minimizes reliance on continuous focuses.
What do you mean by that? I'm not playing Raj that much. Are you implying that it was necessary to use this one more? Did you ask 2000 Hoi players who play the British Raj regularly and ask them, hey, how do you break free? Was the first focus designed to rely on the continuous focuses and thus just bad? Where is bro getting this information from? Why is he spitting these facts?
Independence isn't without challenges. Managing a vast, diverse population means resistance can spill over, reflecting the difficulty of uniting different factions under a single cause whilst striving for self-rule.
This looks like a really shitty civil war. I hope they at least somehow mark the states that will rise up without you needing to switch between 3 different map modes. Because yes, you could technically go occupied territories. Grab army, line, occupied territories, grab line. Where the fuck is now occupied territory? It's easy with just Pakistan, yeah? Because it's like one front line, but with a case like this, where there are like 20 million front lines that are not straight, this could get hard.
Before independence, you must choose between a united India or partitioning into Pakistan and Bangladesh. A united India is strong, but faces compliance issues, making coring harder. The historical two-nation theory leads to partition, with some princely states becoming independent.
I hope that they will add a tiny focus for Pakistan and Bengal then. That would be nice if you kinda are forced to get them.
The war for independence begins with "Give me blood and I will give you freedom." Which states join depends on resistance. Higher resistance means more support. You can boost this by promoting resistance or by uncoring states, which will be restored after the war starts.
That's a nice idea. I just hope that Britain has a way to like counter that. Just imagine playing Britain and the Raj just goes independent and you can't do anything against this. I don't mean they get an event and are forced into a war. I mean them having some kind of focus or decision or whatever to literally just stop it from happening. Or at least weakening the rebellion so you have an easier time to fight.
Britain, of course, will attempt to arrest Bose, forcing you to either send him into exile or start the war with him imprisoned, requiring his rescue.
Once again, I hope this imprisonment isn't just they get an event and then like a border war happens or something like that. That's something I'm missing. Actual gameplay stuff. They are showing paths and how it should work, but not explaining how it works in-game.
The Hindutva branch focuses on forming Akhand Bharat, or Greater India, following an expansionist path. You target a country, instantly gaining cores on all required states, but you can't claim more until you've controlled them all.
There was a huge controversy with Chinese Hoi players who were technically not allowed to play this game, which is the funny part. They were like really pissed that you can core stuff that India is claiming, even today, which is weird. If there's ever China rework, they will also be able to claim stuff that India wouldn't like, so what the fuck is your problem? Like, they are just claiming it. Paradox isn't saying that they should own it or whatever, they are just claiming it. Like how Germany, you can claim, I don't know, some part of Africa.
For example, claiming Burma gives you cores, but you must conquer Burma before progressing.
But once again, I'm asking if Burma will just be a nation without a focus, because then it should be easy to kill them.
Once you've conquered the necessary states, you can form Akhand Bharat.
Akhand Bharat sounds like something Muslim. Akhand Bharat. Wasn't Hindustan like something Muslim? The Muslim rulers. Yes, it is a Muslim realm. But what is with all the stuff around the two-state solution, the cultural and religious division between Pakistan and India that led to their split? If this is somewhat like a Muslim path, does the Hindu population just sit still and there is like no rebellion or whatever? Or what's going on here?
Choosing the Netaji branch, Bose will be kept as your leader. You can seek Soviet aid and model parts of your economy on theirs.
Why would I? Like, I have the choice between, oh, I'm going to become a Soviet ally, or I'm going to core even more stuff and come bigger on the map. What do you think Hoi players will choose?
Ultimately, your goal is to liberate British subjects.
Yippee, I am getting more puppets that I potentially need to naval invade. Or I am getting a really massive land empire with cores. What am I doing? I don't know.
You can tie the rupee to the sterling to mitigate the depression's impact.
You can tie it. Only focus you can do. But you can tie it, you don't need to. You don't need to do the focus, then you just don't have an industry. Potato is a little bit mean right now, but I don't care. Usually I'm criticizing mods. Today I'm criticizing Paradox. I love you, Paradox. Give me the DLCs for free.
You can lobby the British to sell parts of India to private investors, transitioning from a country to a corporation. This brings a unique gameplay experience.
That sounds interesting.
You're now beholden to taxes. Based on your civilian factories, you'll be slotted into a tax bracket and can pay dividends to investors, removing civilian factories for a boost. Managing civilian factories becomes key to minimizing tax burdens.
This sounds like a really interesting but annoying or even punishing system. Civilian factories are the basis of Hoi4 industry. You need them for everything. So you need to get a really strong barred from selling them. Or else it wouldn't really make sense. 9 to 20 factories are not a lot.
Over time, you'll boost your puppets industry and shuffle factories between them, funneling resources to yourself.
So basically it's how to avoid the IRS simulator.
Next time!
Once you've bought enough of the Raj, you can annex the rest, eventually gaining full independence from Britain. At this point, you can either crush the communists or go after the British. You'll be able to core owned states with civilian industries and form a private military to protect your trade routes and interests.
So basically one of your industry paths is in reality not really industrial but more political path. That sounds interesting, but at the same time I hope that the industry path isn't dying.
Including building a flagship.
Wow, you can build a flagship. Did I already explain how amazed I am by the fact that you can build a flagship? Like, what does this mean? Is this like a special kind of ship or whatever?
The shared army branches are available for all paths. You'll choose between modeling your doctrine after the United Kingdom or another major power, gaining bonuses. The Raj's extensive railway network has its own sub-branch, speeding up the construction of supply hubs, railways, and infrastructure.
Thank you. I hate building supply hubs.
Further along, ordnance factories provide extra factories and traits for the MIO. At the end, you'll unlock an upgraded MIO policy. There are also military focuses to improve general tech, particularly for forces in mountainous terrain.
These look like really small. I like it if you have one big military tree that then has several branches, because then it's easier to recognize, okay, this part is made for the military. I don't need to read every single focus because I know everything in this tree, even though it has several branches, is part of the military.
And with that, we've covered most of the British Raj focus tree.
You missed one thing at the beginning. If you look here, didn't they just completely ignore the left path? Adding potato here, I rambled around 20 minutes how I didn't like the stuff that we saw. And I will try to summarize it here. Paradox showed 5 paths. The first one was the historical, which is peaceful independence and maybe or maybe not Pakistan. The second one was the Big India path. The third one was just another independence path where you could liberate some British puppets. The fourth path was a communist branch. I didn't show in the video because I didn't have much to say about it, because it was, again, becoming independent from Britain. Play that same song. All right, same song. Here we go. And the fifth path is a little bit more memey, play as a corporation, but still, you just become an independent India. To summarize, Paradox have shown us 5 different political paths. 4 of them are a different version of independent India. And I personally think this is hella sad. This is like the Germany shit, where they basically added the same stuff you do as the Nono Germans for the Kaiser. Why the hell should I go with the Kaiser if I get the same stuff as the Nono Germans? Same now with India, at least that's how it seems. Where are the paths where I try to form different nations? Where is the path where I try to become not only the crown of the British Empire, but the head of the British Empire? Where is the path where I go, ha ha ha, Alexander conquered India one time, I am the reverse Alexander, I am going to conquer Macedonia now. Like, release one of the princes, he's a little bit mad in the head, calls himself the king of Alexander's empire, and then you can like get cores on Turkey, Iran, Iraq, Greece, maybe Bulgaria even. Maybe you can also go like, haha, now I am Chinese emperor, ding-a-ling-a-ling-ling-ling-ling-ling, conquered China, let's go. Where are these paths? Please let me know in the comments if you want to see more of this stuff or your opinion in general on the Raj update.